Is there something, in the Black church's history? I mean, you've talked about the history of protest, but in the Black church's history that connects it to the struggles that the Palestinians are going through?
Directly, the connections between Palestine and the Black church are in some ways limited. Like there may not be a direct connection, but the point that does connect us directly, anti-Black violence in the world, the same logics that are going in to the aggression of Israel and the genocide of Palestine are the same logics at work in America and in the world more broadly when it comes to oppression.
Folks like Ta-Nehisi Coates have connected Jim Crow to particularly the situation of Palestinians in the West Bank. South Africa is currently at The Hague arguing about both genocide and apartheid. I'm curious, are any of those things that you think about historically when you think about the connection between Black Americans and Palestinians?
Absolutely. One of the connections that happened at President Biden's speech, he uses the Black church as a backdrop to launch his campaign, while also not speaking out and not withdrawing his support of Israel. And so if there is a connection, and one that isn't a good one, is that the Black church is being used as a base for support of Biden, which means that the Black church, in some ways uncritically, is also supporting what is going on in Israel and in Gaza.
I spoke with another young ordained minister in your church, Ari Colston Johnson, and what she said is that she feels that this was generational. I also spoke to Marcus McDonald, who you worked with on this protest as well. Do you agree that this is a generational divide in the church?
The logic of the generational divide is active in various phases within our church. Leaders in the NAACP in the 50s and 60s, James Gilbert Blake, he was involved in the integration of lunch counters in Charleston, but he's recorded saying that the church officials at Mother Emanuel sat him down and told him that his efforts were far too radical, that it was not the time and it was not the place. And so to see this coming up again, it's clear that, not only is it generational, it's historic. There will always be those who tell us it's not the right way, it is not the right time, it is not the right place. But those persons stand in the way of progress, because when is the right time to call out genocide? What is the right place to call out genocide? Surely we're not going to wait until an election to call out genocide.
If other Black churches don't begin to take your approach, don't begin to kind of be engaged in these ways of the world, do you think they're going to lose out on younger and new congregants?
Yes, I think that's a possibility. I think that if young people are watching my efforts and those who I'm working alongside, I pray that they are encouraged and they know that in the time of trouble, there are those who will disrupt and raise their voice and advocate